York and Oklahoma. It is Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. I am Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. With me is none other than Glenn Man Grognard, Radio Grognard? I can't talk, Glenn. Um, Glenn Howsam. Glenn. All right, Glenn's making a face.
I'm doing the Ralph Cramden.
Are you gonna hold something up? Oh God, that is a classic episode.
That is my favorite. I've got it on DVD. Welcome aboard, Chef of the Future.
Yeah, it's always it's always the like the New Year's Day or New Year's Eve marathon here in New York. It's like, oh, the honeymooners are on.
Yes.
Let's all watch the honeymooners. Yes, we've seen them all, but it doesn't make a difference.
It can core an apple. So how are you? Are you?
I am fine. I am not where I am supposed to be. You're not supposed to see this background, folks. It's virtual background. With the green chair kind of sitting behind me. I was supposed to be at ShireCon, technically ShireCon's tomorrow, but Rachel and I reserved the bed and breakfast. We were going to be up there in Connecticut, and long story short, driving out to Long Island to spend time with our niece. I started going, Rach, do you hear that? She goes, yeah, I think I hear that. It was a sound that was like on the edge of your hearing. It's like it's coming from behind us, right? I'm like, yeah, it's like a low-flying plane, because it was getting slowly louder and louder. And then I realized it was the muffler when I kind of started smelling a little exhaust. So, needless to say, it got worse on the drive back to New York City. And I didn't feel comfortable driving 2.5 miles up to Connecticut and 2.5 miles back with a muffler that's already decided to die. And it probably has been for a while, but since I don't drive over 30 miles per hour in the confines of the city, I didn't know. So, not that I suspected anybody from my local Subaru dealer.
I don't think you can drive more than 30 miles within the confines, whether you want to or not.
Speed limit is 25 miles per hour. So, hold on a second. Matt, thank you for commenting. I think I still need your email. So if you sent it, resend it. I couldn't find it. Thank you for commenting, so I can remember that you're here, because I was going to mention you anyway.
No. That's kind of 25 miles throughout New York is kind of disgusting. I mean, I can understand lower through some of the boroughs or something. But
it used to be 30, then they lowered it to 25. Highways are yes, Matt, that's the email. Highway driving here in the city is 50, but I usually don't do highway driving going to most places within the city. But I was going out to Long Island. So we were going to trade the car in at the end of the year for 2022, but I'll see what they have for 2021s that are still in stock. And
now, wait a minute.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to fix a problem if I'm going to trade the car in anyway. And since it doesn't technically come up when you're driving under highway speed, no harm, no foul. So
yeah, so that's the whole weekend blown, right?
Trading in my car, we were going to trade it in anyway. It's just moving the schedule up a couple of months while die.
Okay.
So it it's like I could get it fixed, but usually
next year.
Well, it'll take about up to a week to get an appointment to get it fixed, and they'll do it quick. The dealer it's quick once they have your car. But if we're going to trade it in anyway, why do I want to fix a muffler for a car that I'm going to drive for another month and a half, 2 months? I might just as well trade it in. Yes, Chad, 55 miles would help alleviate some of the pedestrian traffic.
I can't drive 55.
Well, I'm not going to say if I've done 80 on 80 in New Jersey, because that might tell the Jersey troopers to look out for me when I come through. I'm just saying that I tend to follow the speed of the traffic around me. If you follow the speed of the traffic around you, you don't stick out like a sore thumb asking to get stopped.
Wait a minute. David here says, put that up there. In London, they have to actually he correctly said 15 pounds a day. just to drive
All
in
right.
London. Now, wait, a congestion charge. Okay, there is a 15-pound congestion charge. Is it still congested?
Probably. Listen,
Well,
David.
if there's a congestion charge, then you're getting ripped off.
They've been talking
And
about that in New York City since Mayor Bloomberg
really,
was in office. So that means we're probably going back at least 10 years. I was still working when they were talking about it. Supposedly, they've approved the plan to have congestion pricing south of 59th Street. Now, why is it 59th Street? Well, because the 59th Street Bridge comes in from Queens, so it catches the northernmost free access to Manhattan. So if you don't want to pay a toll to get into Manhattan, you generally take one of the free bridges. A couple of them are from Brooklyn, one is from Queens. Now they were all going to cost you between $10 and $15, whatever they decide, because you're going to get tolled going into Manhattan. Already,
same
you get
thing when
in the boroughs.
same thing when I lived in the Bay Area. Nobody in their right mind took the Golden Gate Bridge because one way you get ripped off, so they'd all take the Bay Bridge.
Well,
same thing.
Here's the thing. In theory, congestion pricing is to supplement mass transit. But my experience as a taxpayer is whenever there's a supplement to anything, like I don't know, the lottery's going to supplement schools. No, what did it do? It just meant that other tax dollars didn't go to support your schools. The lottery substituted for it. So it doesn't actually add funding, it just substitutes funding. The money is put
Well, the point is they should be correcting the congestion then. Get some road work out there. If you're getting 15 pounds a day, then I wouldn't own a car in Britain.
Well, I mean,
but then again, what's the transit like? I mean, London, yeah, but when you start, it's like here in Oklahoma. Once you get, I wouldn't give you 2 cents for the public transportation in Oklahoma because everybody's got a freaking truck or a car or something. When I came out here from California, from
Right.
Southern California, I would get, for the first few years, I get ribbed by Becky's family and other people about, oh, you really need a car to be in LA. I said, no, you need a car here. LA's got the LA area has got a great transit system. Up north, you guys, I'd be stranded without a car out here, because your bus system sucks. So,
and that's just it.
There's that.
You need. If you live in lower or midtown Manhattan, you don't need a car. You start hitting upper Manhattan, maybe you need a car. You hit the outer boroughs, you likely need a car. Unless you're literally
right exactly.
Brooklyn less so. Brooklyn has a lot of trains. But Queens, I'm lucky. I live like 5 blocks from one of the major train lines. But and that meant that Rach, who cannot drive, legally blind, had a lot of freedom. She has a lot of freedom where we live. We have buses a block and a half away, and she has access to the subway about 4 or 5 blocks away. It is very convenient. If we move to the Pocono, she'd be reliant upon me driving because there's not even a car service up there. So, if you go nude, buses are free. Actually, you know what? Vlogban, if you go nude, I can guarantee you that you will probably get silver bracelets, a ride in an ambulance, and a 48-hour observation. So, you know what? You're going to get your next couple of meals for free, too. So not too shabby if it works out for you. Matt, I live in Queens, so I don't have to pay for parking.
Incredible.
However, when I worked in Manhattan as a cop, luckily as a cop you had a parking permit, so I could park near my place of work. But if you didn't, if you were the average citizen trying to park in Manhattan, firstly free parking. Well, yeah. Some street parking was metered. They rob you, through a nose. It's about $3 for 2 hours. So, yeah. They find their ways to make their money. They certainly do.
Oh yeah, it took me years to figure out that the nobody gives a crap about public safety on the road. I mean, yeah, they put lip service, but all they want is a license sale. It's just
Yeah.
another way for them to make money.
Oh, that's that.
It is cynical, but there it is.
You know what? They're going to come up with at some point a highway mileage tax. I'm sure other nations have done it. They've been talking about that for the U.S. for years too. So they're going to get you coming or going.
I've got
You know, all it's
we
going
got
to
the
do is
Pike Pass here.
oh, let's see if we
I pay
want
for the
something that's
Pike Pass,
highly tolled. If we want a highly
and
tolled
they
road,
just
we
went
have the Garden State Parkway. That's Jersey.
and they just instituted last month automatic tolls. No more toll booths. They'll bill you. They take a picture and they bill you. If you have Pike Pass, you pay less, but everybody pays.
New York State went to Easy Pass years ago, but now we've gone
They do.
to cashless tolling. So a lot of these toll collectors are out of a job.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And if you don't have Easy Pass,
that's what I mean.
They will take a picture of your plate and they will send it to your plate. There's a discount, but it's not really a discount. Figure the Easy Pass rate is the real rate, and the penalty rate is the rate if you don't have Easy Pass. Again, they get you coming and going.
Well, yeah. For around here, it's like they charge me $1.30 to go on with Pike Pass. If I didn't have Pike Pass and they billed me, it was like $2.75. So it's like over twice as much if I don't have the Pike Pass.
Anyway,
Enough
real
I looked at the
title
of Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse.
We ought
to talk about that
right now. We're not dealing with the Dungeons or the Dragons, but yes, we've got Discourse, we've got complaints. Again, I apologize to those that are in my game tomorrow.
Boy, do we have Discourse.
Like I said, not able to make it. It sucks. Again, we had a bed and breakfast lined up. Had to eat that, so we're not getting the money back on that because the cancellation is just too late. But I hope everybody's a good time at ShireCon. Yeah. Tom is an awesome individual, and I'm sure there'll be a game open for people that are looking to fall into the slots that opened up because I wasn't able to make it. Transport costs and copper pieces. I'd like to see mass transit and Waterdeep. That's what I want to say.
It could have been worse. He could have said Electrum.
Well, you got to make change for the election.
So,
how much change is it?
I don't know. So,
I feel like I'm drinking a real
let's see what's going on. Look, gaming. What's going on OSR wise? Let's see. I had a game last night, Thursday.
Nice.
It was Matt Finch. Oh no,
Matt Finch.
Matt Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say wrong Matt. Matt Evans. The guy who wrote Mythgarther. He's running RC in Mystara right now. And Gage and I are supposed to join this. He's got two, as I said before, he's got two games. He won one week. So Gage and I are supposed to join this game, but Gage couldn't make it because somebody in his house managed to test positive for the Rona. So he had to stay home this weekend. So somebody else filled in for him, and we had a pretty good game. Matt runs a good game. And he transferred.
He sent me the.
He's got a new module out for RC for BECME D&D.
Okay, I got the email today and I was like, oh crap, you brought that up. I was like, I never even snagged it yet. So you reminded me to snag it. So I snagged it, and I will look at it.
I was wondering why everybody got it, but I remember asking why, and I kept saying, well, everybody got it but me. Got it, and other people got it. And I said, I thought you were going to send me one. And he says, well, I had to wait for you guys to play through it. Oh, okay.
Well, see, when you're the play tester,
you guys were... Yeah, you were in the middle of, your group was in the middle of playing it. I wasn't going to give it to you and, have you, that kind of thing. So what are you doing? Dan?
Well, Shepard's an interesting question. Bringing back taxes to D&D. When you get tithes and taxes, when you're entering a new city, you remember the shakedown aspect of getting taxed? You come from a dungeon, right? And I don't do this because it's too much paperwork on my end. But remember, a lot of times when you come from a dungeon, that coinage has been there for hundreds of years, a millennium. It is no longer the coin of the realm. So, yes, we always assume it's going to be taken and a gold piece for gold piece exchange.
Well,
but most likely it's not going to be. Most likely you'd have to bring it to a money changer, and the money changer might give you, 90 cents on a dollar, because they got to melt it down and sell it as ingots. So,
I was going to say, think of it this way. Precious metal is precious metal. It doesn't matter what minted it. I mean, the gold rush, you'd have the prospectors come in to these guys with the scale, they'd weigh it. And I know it's, ingots out of the mountain or off the stream and stuff like that, but it's the same thing. They'll give you whatever the value is for the weight.
Right, but everybody assumes
you can do it that way.
Out of a dungeon, you have
instead of exchange.
Well, the average merchant's not going to be weighing your coinage. The average merchant's going to want the coin of the realm. You're coming out with coinage.
I'm not talking about the average. No, you go. You go. I'm talking about you go to the assayer's office.
Right.
But the money changer, the assayer's office.
They're not going to give you full value. They got to make a profit too. They're gonna take a percentage.
Well, I figured they give you. Even the assayers back in the gold rush took a percentage. That's how they stayed in business.
Right. And,
but what I'm saying is they'll give you whatever the going rate is for that metal minus whatever, they're going to charge you for.
Which is why I'm saying you're probably going to lose 5 to 10% of the value, because they're not going to work on a small margin. They're going to work on a larger margin.
Right.
Heck, credit cards these days are what? 14 to 24%. So you should think, they only took 10.
Well,
at the end, I'm going to do that.
If you go to a money, but what I'm saying is, if you've got players bringing in like thousands of gold pieces, and I'm done, you're bringing them into like a money changer, and like 10% or whatever they're going to charge is going to be a drop in the bucket.
Oh yeah, you're
considering what you have,
and you got to figure.
Not to mention you bring it.
They're charging 10% probably because they got to put half of that into the city's coffers. So there's a whole.
You're right.
Everybody gets a piece of the action.
Not to mention any kind of jewels you bring in to try and get the whatever gold piece worth it is for those, and whatever valuables you get,
right?
That aren't coinage. I mean, I wouldn't mind having like a the players going in and find a dragon hoard or whatever it is, and it's all raw metal. It's all raw silver or gold or something like that, because that makes sense to me. If you have a dragon or goblins or whatever who's raiding, say, a mine, and what do they do down there? They mine this stuff. They may smelt it, but they're not going to coin it. You're going to get the raw materials.
Right. You may have bars. You may have ingots.
Right.
But you probably wouldn't.
Even then, you may not even have that. You might have nuggets.
True. No, you're right. Oh, David Shepard has an interesting
I think that
thought experiment. Go ahead.
no, I just thought that's I had a game master moment. Sorry. Yes, I
That's
should
okay.
do
No, it's a
this.
good game master moment. But David scratching my game
Yeah.
master. Has anyone tried to convert the New
Itch.
York City subway map into an Underdark adventure? Um, that is an awesome idea. But here's the question: which map do you use? Because the subways have been changed many times, and there are many disused tunnels that are still in existence, and stations that cannot be accessed but are still there. So go to
Go down to
Forgotten New York City subway. Put that into a Google search, and you'll get a very interesting website of somebody who explores parts of New York City subway system that are not open to the public.
I
So
see I see a mutant future adventure or two there
that would be pretty cool, actually.
for post apocalyptic. Yes, it would.
Now here comes the
That
other
would be.
question: do you make every part of
What's that?
every station in the New York City subway station, which is fairly large unto itself, into an actual dungeon, and therefore the tracks connect the different dungeons? And you have to remember too, New York City subway system was initially, I think, 3 different subway systems back in the 50s. So how do they all interact? Yeah, you know what, David, you've really caused me a lot of grief because this will probably become something that will itch away at my brain for a while. Ugh.
Well, yeah, and you don't have to take it as a. You can use it as inspiration for a big dungeon in your fantasy world.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said,
Anyway.
it could be, multiple dungeons connected by some underground traffic way. It could be a railway. But then again, I find that rails in dungeon environments usually lead to, like, I don't know, flaming goblins being pushed in carts, and that's probably just too dangerous. Let's see. Trying to catch up on the comments here. So speak, Glenn. Speak.
Yep. Like that?
No. Not bark. Not bark. My dog won't even bark on command. She'll just bark.
Well, let's see. What else is there? Oh, I've got a game coming up Monday, my in-person game, which is going to be a sandbox, which I haven't even begun to start. I've got the map, but I'm looking for like plot hooks and stuff, so I pulled out these. And I'm going to start going through these Hexcrawls Chronicles and see what I can pull up with from there.
Nice.
And I figure if I have 4 strong plot hooks, that should get me by for at least the first session. That way they can pick and choose which they want to go, north, south, east, or west, and I'll plug something in. So
right, and that's the whole thing.
And I also got this last week.
What?
I also got this week. That's from our friend Tom Wilson.
See, I was supposed to pick mine up, so I didn't have him send it to me, so I guess he'll have to mail it to me now. That sucks.
Right. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I was going to say the sandbox thing. I'm all about the sandbox because I'm kind of forcing myself to do a sandbox. I have never done a straight sandbox. I am to find, that's an interesting adventure. Let's play this. But this one, I'm just like, okay, I'm cutting you guys loose. Where do you want to go?
Well, I mean, again, the secret is the hooks, but it's also, and this is just my own personal experience. There are 2 pitfalls to a sandbox, and one is being underprepared, and one is being overprepared. And I think you're finding that good middle ground of go with the 4 hooks with enough that if they take, no matter which hook they have, you have something to go with, and then you expand off from there, depending what direction your player is going. There's no point in building stuff that your players aren't going to interact with. It's kind of like the old Western
Right.
sets with the whole facade, but they would build out like, if,
Mhm.
they're going to go into the saloon. We'll build out the saloon so we can have the shot going into the saloon, but they're never going to go into the dime stores. We don't have to worry about the general store, just the facade, and that's kind of what
Right.
you know. Of
Right.
course, the players they might decide to go into the fucking general store, in which case you improvise it.
It's okay. I can handle. See, I figured I have four good plot hooks, one for each direction on the compass, and anything else I fill in with like random encounter tables.
Okay.
So
That
okay,
works too.
say they go northwest. I can ad lib that. That's no problem.
Right.
And besides, this way they're telling me what's there. We want to go. Okay, that haunted mine looks interesting. We're going to go check it out in the next city. Okay, you've told me where you're going and what you're doing. Fine, we'll go.
You want the investment from your players. You know, sandbox.
Yeah.
If your players aren't invested, a sandbox is not going to work. So it's.
Oh, they're invested, all right. Boy, are they invested.
Depending on the group, it can be hard to pull off. Like right now, Joe the Lawyer is. We just kicked off. We're going to call it his Bronze Age Heartbreaker. It's an OSR game using Bronze Age era technology, his own classes. I think it's going to go really well, but it's a sandbox, and we're going in directions that he did not expect. We're latching on to the hooks that he threw out as like a distraction, and we're like, oh no, that's one we want. And he's like, fuck. But it keeps the DM on their toes, and it keeps the players on theirs, and it makes it all live. When you don't know what your players are going to do, everything is a living environment. When you already know where your players are going to go, it becomes kind of stagnant.
That's right. That's right.
So,
it goes stagnant. It's terrible. I also have the Midderlands to look at and draw from that too. I'm not doing a Midderlands game, but he's got a lot of plot hooks in those books, a lot of them. And
I'll be honest with you,
and they just get my brain going.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I love settings. If you're gonna give me something, and if I go like a random game book, give me a setting I don't have. System neutral is fine because I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna take pieces and bring them into whatever I'm running. I might not use the setting as written,
right?
But I will use it as inspiration. Yeah,
that's the idea. That's the whole idea. I love the idea of sandboxes. I've just never really run I've been a little afraid to, but it's one of those things where my life is a series of pushing me out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to do it.
Well,
I mean, what could happen?
Right. I recently ran a session where the player's choices forced me to improvise 90% of the session. You know what?
Wow.
And believe me, I can understand that. I ran a couple of years ago when we were playing in person out in Long Island. I was thrust into the DM seat unexpectedly one day, but I always used to carry Inkle Design has these dungeon cards. It's like a small
dungeon dice.
No, not just the dice. They also have a deck. Well, multiple decks now.
Yeah, I know. I have the dice. So
I have the dice, but I also have the cards, and you can pull out a card, and it's a small little write-up on a playing card with a small little map of a tomb or whatever. And I was like, oh, I got to run something? Well, as you guys roll up characters, I'll use those 5-10 minutes. I said, we're going to pick 2 random cards, and now those 2 cards, I'll figure out what we're doing. And I ran mostly improv adventure. Also, working off what your players are observing. When you have to improvise, you can work off and feed off of what your players are suggesting without realizing they're suggesting. And when you give feedback back that what they see up here is what is actually going on, it makes it more immersive for everybody. It worked out pretty well. I was actually surprised and impressed that I was able to pull that shit off.
Now let's talk about some of the downsides here. You talked about being underprepared or over-prepared. Also, I worry about pay. Going to throw if they're going to throw a monkey wrench at me, throw a spanner in the works, and I have to stop every 10 minutes to figure out where it's going to go, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Sometimes in the sandbox you have.
I don't mind taking a break, and it's like they throw something. Yeah, but you shouldn't do that every 10 minutes.
No. And you know what? Sometimes, I hate to say it, you just got to wing it. But the problem with winging it, I can improv, and I'm pretty good at it. But my problem with improv is I forget what it is I came up with. So my way of addressing that.
Yeah, and they always say take notes, but do you want to stop and?
No, I just want to go with the flow, right? I'm going to keep the action going. And it's a great time. So my way of handling the fuck up, and it worked pretty well when everybody I gamed with had a blog, is I would say, listen, if you do a session write-up on your blog of our last game session before we have the next one, I will award you a 10% experience bonus on what you earned in the last session. And when all my players were pretty much they were pretty much all gamers, it worked out pretty fucking well. Why? Because by the next session, I had the views of 4 or 5 different players of what happened. And not only did you get to see what you forgot,
right, David,
but you also, even more importantly, got to see what was more important to player A, what was more important to player B, what really stuck with them, because that now gives you material for later on. Oh, well, they really hit it off with that random, wizard that got rolled up and met them at the pub. All right, well, I guess it's a reoccurring character now, because that was enough that you marked on it and wondered about it. So I think that's pretty cool.
And you know what? I'm. It's so funny when I play with Jason in his 1E game over in Long Island, which I'm surprised. Let him know next time we come to Long Island. I'm sure he wants to meet up with you, but that's beside the point. But when I play with Jason, when I play with Carlos on Mondays, he always gives a recap on what happened last time. Jason tries to do the same thing, but he always says, okay, picks a player. What recap? And whenever he picks me, he says, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, that would be me. I mean, I can remember what.
You're the GM. You tell me.
Right. I will remember what impacted my character, but I don't remember proper names of jack or shit. But when you get 4 or 5 players giving you feedback on that session, guess what? Now you're looking at it and you're going, wow, I've got I now can get a universal view from 4 or 5 different.
You're looking at a different way.
So,
yep.
But now there's less bloggers,
Absolutely.
and now people want to do write-ups and post it on their Facebook or their Twitter. I don't think so. I know I wouldn't. And again, blogging is not dead, but it's certainly not the living beast that it used to be. So I don't know if that would be a solution when I get back to running games again.
Well, when I'm behind the screen, I always worry about pace. I always wonder if I have enough time to jot something down and keep them interested, because, you got to keep it going. Fortunately, I've got some great players. They don't get bored very easily. And so I'm blessed that way, but it's always something in the back of my mind that keep the game going. And when you do in a sandbox, you've got to make sure. I don't think I'd like to say there's no such thing as being over prepared for a game, but I will say in a sandbox, you really got to go the extra mile and make sure you know the area of what's happening around them.
My issue is
I will make an extra note or
yourself
two.
out. I wouldn't want you to burn yourself out with the preparation.
Oh yeah.
Which I know people that do. Nothing against you, but I know people in the gaming industry, and they get pissed off when I did so much ready and they never went there. Then move that shit. I hate to say it so obviously, but just move it. If you have something that you had initially planned for, I don't know, the muddy marsh, put it on the shores of the never-ending lake or whatever it is. You can move it. They didn't find it some other place, so it never existed there.
That's right.
It doesn't exist until they actually interact with it. So you have solutions. You have ways to move around that.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of DMs forget that, especially when you're working with a setting.
I don't.
The other setting.
I don't think I over prepare, but I do get. First of all, I'm a procrastinator, like most game masters. I gotta run. I know I gotta run Monday, so it's been on my mind for the last 2 weeks, last month since I ran again, because I really do this once a month. And, I'll sit down and prep and prep and prep. I don't really have a set way of doing it. But I know what I need. And it's not like I finish prep. It's more like I say to myself, all right, stop. That's enough. Go play the game. So there's no real end to it. I mean, I could keep going forever. If I've seen too. Oh no, just one more little thing. It's like, no, put it down. Go play the game. Unbelievable.
I think as most of us, like you said, suffer from some sort of procrastination, disability or issue. I mean, I think that's just
to me. It's an avoidance because to me something stops being fun when it starts feeling like work.
Oh, I understand that.
And you just gotta get to that point where you get in the zone. You know what I'm talking about? You just get in the zone and you're creating and you're prepping and stuff, and then you stop. That way it doesn't feel like work because you're doing creative work and it's fun and things like that. I hate to say I'm like that, but unfortunately, that's why I haven't done very much artwork lately. That's why I haven't very much prep work lately, because if I start thinking about it as fun, my daily podcast, there's a couple of times I had to screw with this. This is like a job, but I keep doing it anyway. Because I say to myself, well, it's only, you do it, 20 minutes a day? Do it,
Right.
So, I know there's people out there like that, like me. I mean, it sounds pretty, well, it is lazy, I guess. But
no, it isn't. Again, it's human. By the way, Chad, yes, we used to have half pennies. I think back around the early 1800s. I used to collect coins, but here's the thing, too. Is that when it becomes work is when you really have to worry about over preparation, because when it becomes work, you don't want to prepare more than you need to because you're not enjoying the prep. And honestly, if you're not enjoying the prep, maybe it's time to step away. There's an obligation.
If you're feeling if it's feeling like
obligation between you and the players as a GM, and we feel guilty if we don't give them our best. So
if something like prep feels like work, first you got to do two things. You got to do two things if something like prep feels like work. One, stop, and two, look at it and go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing? I mean, you can do it in like the meta level, like why am I prepping at all?
Right.
But you can also do like you can drill down, like, okay, why did I write this for here and that for this here or that here? You start paring down your prep. You start paring down what you did. Then you take it to the table.
See.
Okay. And you remember next time, okay, just do this, and this. Anyway, what?
I find that my issue can often be that I will prep stuff for a project and then forget about it. Now the good thing is a lot of my prep goes up on the blog. So then I'll do a Google search for something on my blog and then find something totally unrelated and go, holy shit, I forgot when I was doing those creatures. It just happened to me the other night. I'm like, oh my God, these things are effing great. I gotta, do something with them. And it's like, why did I not remember doing this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, son of a, it's a forgotten work, which you'd wind up doing not the same work, but you would do similar work as extra work, and you've already done it. Because a lot of times, you're an artist. How much of your artwork do you do, and then you have finished, you put it to the side, and say, I don't like it, or maybe I'll get to it later, or it isn't what I thought it was going to be. That happened. That happens with my parents.
Yeah.
The paintings that they start, it's like,
And I really have a bad work. And truth, I have a bad work ethic too, because I will do a drawing or something, and I go, okay, that was fun, and then forget about it. I got to keep going on things, like with with gaming. I should keep going. Then there's always the fact you can save something for later. Yes, that's true. That you are right, Shedzar. You are absolutely right.
See, I
said
think
something about that.
If you're running a sandbox and it's your own creation, and you've got all these little locations and plot hooks that you've mapped out, and your players go left, and you had been hoping that they were going to go right. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You created it, right? It's your sandbox. The only person that knows where you planned where things were going to be is you. Move that shit into the direction they're going to be going into. Why waste something you created? It's never going to get encountered.
Oh, here's another.
Counter it. Move it.
Here's another tip for running a sandbox, or even behind the screen, even with GM. Here's something you should never, ever do. Second guess yourself.
Right.
This goes back to when I act. If you're it, do it all the way. As my friend Full says, go big or go home. You don't. I mean, there are times when they've done something and I want to do this other thing, and I will give it maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds thought of, okay, is that going to, okay, fine. Boom, go. Okay, you want to go in there? This is what you find. You got to make those kind of decisions at the table. And, and your prep should be strong enough to weather that for that kind of thing. You cannot second guess yourself while you're running the game.
No, and here's the thing too. You're better off, and this is actually what I was taught as a police officer. You're better off making the wrong decision than making no decision whatsoever. At least making the wrong decision, you made a decision. If you make no decision whatsoever, it's going to all fall apart right in front of you. You can, at least a bad decision, you can often rectify, but you can't rectify no decision. You can't fix no decision. So
that's true.
Eric and the illusion of choice mantra. Well, you know what? Again, this is aimed at somebody who has probably over prepped. I don't over prep my sandboxes because I'm a lazy fuck when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Now we're relying on improv. But if I were somebody who put something every 10 steps, I have everything ready, and the players are moving in a direction and they're never going to go back in this one area, I can start moving hexes if I need to and use that.
Also, you notice I call it Sam. I don't call it hex crawl. If I had to call it anything, I'd call it a point crawl, because I think points are easier to deal with than hexes.
I would say you're right, and that's probably why oh God, points of light, right? Those excellent. I think Goodman published it, but Rob Conley wrote it. Rob did the points of light because even though they're hex crawls, it really is about the points. It really is about the highlights. The hex is just places to get you to those points of interest. Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we think that the hexes are no. It's the hexes are a means to an end. In a hex,
I used to drive myself crazy. I used to drive myself crazy with hexes, especially the Judges Guild type hexes that were numbered, that were so small it was hard to read. Okay, this hex, I got to totally map out this hex because they're moving through it. No, I don't. What I do is I have to show the cities, the landmarks, where they're going. That's what you have to worry about.
Right. So,
that's what I'm saying. I've got my map, it's beautiful, it's in color and stuff, but now I'm working on a black and white copy so I can put stuff in that they don't know about. I can make a couple of notes in an area, that kind of thing. In fact, the other night I took about 12 to 14 D4s and threw them on the map. Wherever they landed, I circled it. I said, that's where a mini dungeon is. I've got a premise where I finally justified in my mind why there's dungeons all over the place. And it works for me. All these dungeons are basically abandoned old small mines or shrines or wizards dungeons or something like that, and they're rest stops. They're places that that the community keeps up for adventures. There's a lot of them around to stop at. And whatever they were, they got this. In fact, their first adventure, they were working for an organization I came up with who maintains these kind of things with the contract with whatever city it is, called the Gelatinous Dudes.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you. Went in as troubleshooters because they lost some of their workers. So that was the premise. But the point is, if you have something like, and they're basically just like, 5-room dungeons, 7-room dungeons, have been abandoned, but the cities take care of them and maybe put a bench in there for the adventurers, or maybe a fire pit or something like that, which gives me, I think, great ideas for adventures, because whatever these things were before, things could have happened there that will affect what's going on, and the people who take care of it, the cities and stuff, have no idea. There may be of some wizard in one of these things that never left, and they don't know about it. The other one, there may have been like a tribe of orcs dug through, and they don't know about it. And, the cleaning crews only find this out when they get there and things like that. I mean, I could use this ad infinitum.
Right.
And that's how I justify why there's dungeons in this world.
Fair enough.
So,
I mean,
that.
I'm going to hopefully, it's slow moving. Hopefully before the year is out, I'll be doing a monthly session with my old gaming group from high school and college using one of the VTTs. Was it Albert Rodeo or Roll20? I'm not sure which one. We'll see. But we're probably going to go episodic, at least initially, because these guys haven't played in 1997. First week of March was the last time we played a session. So it's going to be
Wow.
nearly 20. Yeah. So we're talking almost 25 years. We're going to go episodic because I don't really think that they're going to be focused enough to handle a Hexcrawl or a sandbox just yet. But maybe after a few episodic
Well,
where
that's
they
fine.
go, one adventure and they handle that over the course of 2 or 3 sessions and then pop back and it's like, well, after your drunken debauchery, and we're going to be using stuff that Jeff Talanian has published for Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerer. We're going to be using it though with crypts and things. I'm going a little bit lighter in my OSR swords and sorcery.
Well, that's good.
But I'm looking
That's
forward
good.
to this.
That's good. I mean, the current group are trying out a new system. The first 2 sessions were an adventure, and after this, I decided, okay, I'm cutting you loose. We're going to do a sandbox.
There you go.
Just to get their feet wet in the new system.
Well, you gotta.
We're thinking alike.
Right. You gotta crawl before you can walk, and you gotta walk before you can run.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
That's
haven't, my players back in the day, we didn't call it a hex crawl. What we did do something that was very sandboxy, very what do the players want to do, and at the same time we throw episodic stuff in from Dungeon Magazine and whatever else. But except for myself, the rest of the group hasn't been. They've been playing MMOs, but they haven't been playing D&D or its clones in nearly 25 years. I think we're going to have to go soft and gradual into that night before I throw the full book in them and go.
Probably would be a good idea.
Yeah. So,
Now the one game that isn't D&D that people should look at for things like this is Savage Worlds. Because, a lot of people were used to things like an adventure path, like Pathfinder does and things like that. Well, to me, Savage World takes that concept and does it better because they have a lot of their books, their setting books, have a main, like adventure path, a main thing that's happening. They say, well, this is, number 1, number 2, you follow it through like an adventure path. But they also say there's a lot of room between these things to run what you want. Okay. So if you want to grab a hook from another book or further in the book or something of your own, you can throw it in between these events, I guess. That's why I did the cattle drive. That's what gave me the idea of the cattle drive because I could do anything with this. I've got things, but I don't have to do them in any order, nor do I have to do them all. I can swap them out. I can put stuff in between them. This is the kind of flexibility you need with something like this, and that to me would be great for a sandbox.
No, you're that giving the players the ability and the power to influence the direction of it is what makes a sandbox, and not just the illusion of it. You got to give them that power. Now, Shadzor says Hexcrawl. We just called it wilderness travel. Exactly. You know what? You're I'm laughing, and here's the thing. I killed a party one time. We were going to run T1 through 4, the temple, which, by the way, arrived earlier today. I got the Goodman games. Oh my! It's on the kitchen table. I'll grab it if you want me to, but it's
they had to do two. They had to do 2 books on that. Wow.
Yeah. Hold on, Glenn. I'll be back in 10 seconds, maybe less. Keep talking.
Chili peppers burn my gut. Did you know that? I'm talking. I just. Chili pepper always burn my gut.
If you need to lift weights,
and anybody who knows where that, Anybody who knows where that comes from, they're good. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Look at this virtual. I mean, it has a nice little book. I haven't even popped it out of its. It's here. We'll do an unboxing live on Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse, and I'm using my self-defense pen.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I ran the original at least 3 times between high school and college with different groups because I really enjoy T1 to 4. And I've had the argument with people that T1 to 4 is not a real mega dungeon. Listen, if you can run your campaign from levels 1 through 7, 1 through 8, it's a fucking mega dungeon. Yes, your players can complete it, which by some the definition doesn't apply, but it's a campaign, therefore it's mega. So, all right. I
played a little TOE.
Look at that. It's like having
I played a little of it.
So, all right. I will be looking at, here I am talking about how I'm looking forward to episodic adventures. Games. And with my luck, I'll be running T1 to 4 for the fucking players. I'll be like, they haven't played it in at least 30 years. They won't remember shit.
I played a campaign. Gage and I at the game place we used to go to. He was using 2E, and I remember my ranger. He never finished it because they were teachers and they had to go back to school. But I remember my ranger coming to one of those, what are they called? Ignominious deaths or whatever, by having a statue fall on him.
Well, if you're going to go, that's the way to go. It's certainly different.
Yeah, it would have, well.
My skin is
like. I admire the Goodman game stuff. Well, but like I said, I admire the Goodman game stuff. I think they do a really good job from what I've seen. I've looked at the books at North Texas, and they look gorgeous and stuff. I just can't justify me buying them.
Well, here's one.
Mainly because I got the originals.
Here's a remark.
And I don't run 5e.
It's an important remark. The first of these, not the template. Number 1. You see the number 6 up here. Well, you can't see the 6, but if you can see the 6,
into the borderlands.
Was it Borderlands?
Into the Borderlands.
Into the Borderlands.
Into the Borderlands. Yeah.
They used paper that was maybe just better than the paper that Judges Guild used. Okay, it was shitty paper. You would open it up, and the bleed through the page sucked. This has no bleed through the page. It's better paper quality, and the font is readable font from my old eyes.
They learned.
I had heard. This is going back. I had heard rumors that A, they wanted to do T1 to 4, and B, Wizards wanted to do T1 to 4, and Wizards was not happy with the paper quality of the original Classic Edition reprint from Goodman. They liked the quality of the actual product, the content, but the paper quality was substandard. So I'm glad to see that they have corrected that going forward. Listen, Goodman knows where their bread is buttered. They do a great job with DCC, but they're making, I'm sure, the bulk of their monies on their 5e conversions of the Classic Adventures. They have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm not doubting it. I'm not chastising them for that or anything like that, but it's just not for me because I've got practically all of these and I don't run 5e. So
no, you're right. Shadzar.
What have you? I'm glad they're out there for the new people.
Here is the issue. Are you ready? Are you ready for the issue? Here's the issue. The modern remakes concern me. What about the handouts? Are they in the book? Do you have to tear them out to give to the players? There are no digital. You cannot get this as a digital version. So that is an issue. If you want to run this as a VTT, you're going to have to scan the pages with the maps, or find the digital maps out there. Some more nefarious methods of finding the maps in the handouts. But the reason being is Wizards of the Coast does not put out their 5e material in digital format.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm coming in for you, Glenn.
If he wants the handouts,
Yeah.
but if they want the handouts, they could probably go to some place like the Vaults of Pandius and find either those handouts or better ones that other people have done and print them out.
That is an idea. You are correct, sir. But I mean, I'll tell you the truth. Even if I don't run T1 to 4, I might just run the Village of Hamlet for the first adventure to get people together, because the Moat House and all that stuff is just a very nice. It's a nice way to start a campaign.
Nice little dungeon.
As I village my happy village.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what else is on our agenda, Glenn?
This is our agenda.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I was just making
You haven't. So but is there? Well, I was going to ask: is there anything in the OSR community or anything else that you want to bring to light? OSR news or
bring out to light. Well, let's see.
Kickstarter stuff, maybe.
I'm trying to think what we can talk about that isn't actually a burning bag of shit. And the burning bags of shit.
There's this, but there's also Hyperborea, which is not a burning bag of excrement.
No, Hyperborea is certainly not a burning bag of shit.
So,
back to basics is spot on, man. That's something I am certainly looking forward to. And I was going to get mine probably tonight, but it didn't happen.
He delivered, and Tom has done an excellent job. Yeah. Hyperboreas comes out in December?
I believe
something like
so.
That.
I'm looking forward to it. Journey into the Madlands is currently being kickstarted. It is by Jeff. Jeff Jones is the one running the Kickstarter. Jeff, if you don't know, does layout for Torchlight. He's doing the layout for the Swords of Wizardry Continual Light new print, the digest-sized edition. So Jeff did some writing in this, and he did the layout and the editing. It's currently being kickstarted. It's basically a Hexcrawl zine for post-apoc stuff. So if you're going to be doing something like Gamma World or any of the other
Mutant Future,
was it Mutant Pro Classics? It's certainly something that would probably give you a lot of hooks and ideas. And Jeff does some excellent stuff. Wrong on Quantum Ogre. Eric, wrong on Quantum Ogre. Wrong for America. You know what? Somebody somewhere said something nice about the tavern. Here, I'll say that. Said something nice about me doing good things for the community. I was verklempt.
It's about time.
I just didn't know what to say. By the way, Glenn, I don't know if you realize this. We've surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Have a drink.
This here?
Yeah, 1,001.
Holy moly! I'm out of drink, but that's okay.
That's
Thanks,
okay.
guys.
We actually hit that on Wednesday. But yes.
Yeah, fantastic. I didn't think people were listening to me, except daily for 10 minutes or so.
Well,
even then, I don't know, but keep the money coming in.
Well, at some point
we calling it yes.
We may make pennies an hour. Pennies an hour, even. It'll be amazing.
Good.
Yes, yes, it is now.
Sheds are yes, he Hyperborea.
No, you can no longer play ass. You can play with. Never mind. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want you. I don't want the YouTubers.
I say ASSH or just Astonishing Stories.
Yeah, but I was about to say yes. You can play with your Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers, but just do it in the privacy of your own home, and then wash your hands afterwards. Bum. Journey
I love it. Where's my
into
drummer?
the Madlands, David. Journey into the Madlands is the Kickstarter. Actually, hold on.
And who's putting that out?
Jeff. Now
putting that out?
Yeah, here it actually exists, right? So if you want to know, I have a copy. I can tell you, it's good.
Where'd you get that?
It's good. Now, I backed for another copy. So when I have another copy, I will actually give away a copy, probably on Christmas time.
So is that a pre-kicks? Is that a pre-copy?
This means that this actually, it actually exists. So you are making sure that the people who created this get compensated for their work. The paper quality is a high. This is nice doing this. Hold on a second. If we're gonna do this, let me do this more proper. Like here. Now you get to see behind me. So listen, the pages are really nice. The cover is really good. The pages are high quality. It's 57 pages long. Great art. See, now you can actually see some of this shit without my virtual camera taking away. And it's got hexes. So we were talking about hexes and inspiration.
Oh man. I'm broke. I want.
Want it.
I'm broke, but well, listen, I'm broken. But if the people involved want to get a hold of me, I will plug the living Jesus out of it on my on Radio Grognard. So yes. I'm just putting that out there.
I know.
I'm just putting that out there.
It's really good. Jeff does a great job with the layout, and it's full color, but it's a subdued full color. I really like the way that came out, and I believe we're doing something similar, likely with the digest size of Swords and Wizardry Continual Light.
After the live, Eric.
Yes.
I'm just saying, after the live stream, you're going to put a link down on the down there.
I could put a link in right now. Actually, hold on a second.
To the Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah. And
we got
probably, I believe,
due diligence.
Due diligence. Next Wednesday on Talking Crit, Jeff will be a guest.
Oh, wow.
We will bring Jeff on, and he'll probably tell stories about he has to ride my ass to get me to get things in on time. Because there's a reason why, folks, I might critique Kickstarters, but I'll never do a Kickstarter. Because I've never been one that works well under a time crunch. Although I did Swords and Wizardry Light under a time crunch because I thought I had a month to do it, and then I was told I had 4 days, and I was away. So that was something where I was like, "Oh, this is how shit like this happens," and now I understand the industry. Yes, you heard it. No, it's not the first time you've heard it. Glenn will not refuse a review copy.
Hey, I never refuse review copies, but if you can't spare one, I'll be happy to grab a copy next year in North Texas if he has copies there for sale. I'd be happy to buy one.
But no,
anyway.
It's good. It's good.
But yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really
to be able to say
nice.
It exists. I have it. I own it. Is cool. So I mean, not every creator
as opposed to Far East.
Oh geez, I'm back to my virtual bar scene. Yeah, Far West. No.
Far West. Why do I can't remember the name of that damn game? Far West, Far East, Near East, Far.
Oh, excuse me. It'll be 10 years late at the end of December. I will be married 10 years in January. No, sorry, in November.
What a great anniversary present that would be.
Yes. It was like a wedding present, but I said I'm gonna back this for $150 for the original artwork. Oh my god, I don't know if I want the hands. The hands from the red hands from hell.
I love the hands.
I think that's the pose that he put me in. Or some crap like that. Oh, jeez. God help us, each and every one of us. Yes. Oh, well, that's an impressive Photoshop done there, sir. Thank you, Gareth. I have no idea why your artist would flake out on you.
You solared out real good.
Yeah, it was a flaming bag of
But
poops.
okay, what other bags of excrement are out there recently?
Oh no. Well, you have the Paizo bag of excrement that Jessica Price laid at their doorstep right before Gen Con, where she just aired out a lot of dirty laundry. Oh yeah, I think that. All right,
I don't know this.
I'm going to give you the highlights because it's highlights. The one of the offices that she worked out of at Paizo was not vacuumed for 7 years, nor were the ducts cleaned. So her and her staff vacuumed the office, killing a vacuum cleaner and a carpet cleaner. So when they went to Upper Mucks and said, hey, listen, why isn't the floor being vacuumed? They were told, well, the cleaning man had a bad back and couldn't vacuum floors. I don't know what he did if he couldn't vacuum floors, but in any case, they were like, well, if he can't vacuum floors, can you buy us a vacuum? We will vacuum ourselves. No, you can't do that because that would violate our insurance policy. Okay. So now here, I'm going to give you these are just random highlights. But I think the highlight that sticks out is Jessica Price says that Jason Bullman, the product director of Pathfinder, I believe, or the line developer, whatever his title is, asked her out. She declined, and then their friendly relationship went downhill from that. He wouldn't deal with her and all this stuff. And then she says, oh, and by the way, he would send pictures of his private parts to people. Now, she didn't say...
Why am I not surprised?
Well, so... Now, I don't believe that she claimed that he sent anything to her. So then he addressed it earlier today, and I don't know if I have... Oh, I do have it. All right. I'm just going to open this up just so I'm not going to read the whole thing because God knows I don't have the stomach to read the whole thing out loud. But there's one part I think if we're going to cover this at all, I think I need to bring up. Here. The accusation further states that my working relationship with Jessica deteriorated after this point, and that is true. Because he apparently hit on her in April 2015 after a late night of beer, and then he private messaged her. I guess he sent her an IM saying, hey, I'm drunk. Do you want to whatever? I don't know. So he apparently got sober in the morning and then apologized. So she brought that up. But then she also brought up the... and then there's an accusation that I sent salacious images to a woman in the industry. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but if you are a lawyer...
Who could that be?
Right. You're going to hear what is not only not a denial, but in my years of dating, I have had a number of intimate correspondences with my partners. I have always believed that they were mutual and wanted, but I cannot know that now with 100% certainty. Please know that if I ever crossed a boundary, that I am deeply ashamed and regretful. I am here to state right now I do not condone such non-consensual behavior. No one should have to endure the kind of harassment. No person is named in this allegation, and no one in my past has indicated to me that it was out of line. So I am at a loss as to how to make this right. You know what that tells me? That tells me, and
What?
I'm not. This is not a direct quote. This is me saying what I just read, and I am giving my feedback on that. Um, I have sent out so many. How did he put it? Salacious images to women that I can't remember or recall who might be offended by it. I mean, it might be all of them, but I don't want to. Once I start apologizing to them, it means that I actually take ownership of it. So I'm just gonna say, if you're offended, I'm sorry, but I don't. I haven't heard from anybody saying they were offended. If Jessica Price knows about it and says it was more than one person, then they were offended. They were probably subordinates, and therefore felt that speaking up about it would jeopardize their employment. Um, I don't want to make predictions. I don't think that this looks good for Jason, and that's not a denial. That's I've sent out so many D pics that I just don't know. Hey, maybe I sent it to you. If so, I thought you wanted it.
Maybe you should put a maybe she should make a database on Office or something.
Yeah, it's like
put an Excel spreadsheet of DPICs. Yeah.
Like apparently when you work at Paizo, you need to get a sheet, and on that sheet's gonna say, I am interested in receiving random dick pics. Yes, no. I think that's a hard no. Oh, okay. I want somebody who is drunk on beer to make a pass at me over social media. Yes or no? I think the answer is no. I mean, again, I worked in civil service for 20 years. I have seen some stupid shit. This is bizarrely stupid shit, and that's again not a denial. That is that's kind of like, yeah, okay, well, if you're offended by it, I'm sorry. Rach is like, anybody's offended by it should send a picture to his mother. I don't know if that would work, but that might be a bit. Yeah, it's like, oh. So what does Chad say? Cherry on top of the whole pie situation is that Sarah Marie, the terminated community manager, said JP was inserting herself. She had no business for cloud chasing.
Herself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Listen, here's the thing. Jessica Price has a history of making accusations that are often quasi-founded. I mean, there's a root to them, but often she takes it out of context and blows it up. But that's not a denial on sending out pictures of one's private parts. I've sent out multiple pictures of my private parts, meaning Jason did, not Tenkar. Tenkar has not done that because Tenkar is happily married, and a married man, I don't really have much of a private part. But
and people like me don't want to see your private parts.
Yeah, so yeah, who else am I gonna send it to? Glenn, James, Mike? Come on. I mean,
James might like it. James might like.
No, James might want me to flash him my man boobies, but let's not go that far. And I have to watch. I see now I'm saying words that YouTube's gonna go, oh my god, we can't monetize this channel. They said boobies. But yeah, no, I mean this is just. So there is no. We used to have a segment on Wednesday night that we used to call "What Did Wizards of the Coast Do This Week," and then we had to change it to "This Week in RPG Stupid," because things like this go beyond Wizards of the Coast. This is just. Yes, Jason, you probably were better off saying nothing. Supposedly, Jason did not make it to Gen Con for the first time in like 30 years. So I can only imagine how Gen Con is right now if you work at Paizo. How many questions you're being... Is it true that Jason sent naughty pics to people? I can either confirm or deny. Is it true that Eric Mona had a swastika on her social media page?
Was
Not
that a
intentionally.
swastika or a schwansticker?
Not a Schwan sticker, which would have been interesting. But
Well, a
yeah, no,
schwansticker. He'd be very popular.
a Schwan. Do I have the Schwan sticker? But so yeah, that's the. Joe wants to see me in that speedo for the charity drive. Dude, it's not gonna. No. I don't do speedos. That's bad. Mike's brother does speedos. You are gonna see me though, probably in like hot pink yoga pants with a matching or coordinating tank top and a nice little headband going. But Rach is going to actually teach me the yoga moves ahead of time so I don't totally embarrass myself as I embarrass myself.
Good.
But it's going to be charity. We're going to be raising money sometime after Game Hall or St. Jude's.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. That's a good charity. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I guess we need a segment. I guess we need some kind of segment for this show, huh?
All right, so we'll leave it.
How about? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, folks, leave comments after the show. Leave it because comments help the drive the algorithm anyway. But if you have an idea as to a great segment for the show, it doesn't have to be stupid news segment. If you have something that you want us to do, Glenn and I, as a regular feature.
Well, Glenn, I got one.
Glenn mentioned
I got the title for one. I know, okay. But you know, Kickstarter comedy with 2 K's, both beginning with K, comedy with a K, because K's are funny.
Oh,
that's my suggestion.
Kickstarter
comedy.
Kickstarter comedy, folks. If you like that idea, after the show, let us know. If you don't like that idea, let us know. And give us your own ideas. Glenn and I are happy to
going to beat up.
How to Kickstarter would be a good topic.
Yeah.
You know, it would be. Or how to.
You know, we don't have to do.
To do and not to do. That is the question. But don't leave it in the live stream comments. We need comments after the show. I'm kind of being like smart about the algorithm stuff, maybe sort of, kind of. But we'll see.
Yeah, we don't have to do the segments every show.
No,
we do it, you know.
But yeah, leave your ideas in the
how not to Kickstarter.
Yeah. How many Kickstarter. In any case, folks, this is awesome. This is why I've said it before. I will probably say it today and many times after this. These live streams are as awesome as they are, not just because of the great co-hosts that show up here on Wednesdays and Fridays and my wife on Saturdays, but because of you all who show up here and interact with us and give us feedback and give us ability to improv off you. You make us better. And if you can hear my wife yelping in the background, she's having a great time. I'm assuming they're playing the Xbox. God help us. If my wife is driving the Xbox, it's better than driving in real life. So that's all I'm willing to say.
Yeah.
Be safe saying it.
The thought left me, whatever it was.
You're getting like me, Glenn. You're getting
Did you know that ever since I started gaming again, I cannot use regular. I mean, I use blank paper, but I always grab grid paper. I don't even have any lined paper around here at all. It's all these.
Well, you need grid paper, man. You need it. And stay within the grid. Stay within the grid. Don't go off the grid. You gotta be in the grid.
Color in the lines. Color in the lines. Color in the lines. But that's one of the.
In the zone.
That's one of the things that gaming has affected my life. How about you, Eric? What has changed since you've been doing gaming?
I've got more gray hairs.
Okay, good enough.
Being honest.
Me too, and I got less. I got less of them too.
Chad's right. Yes, the streams are very much a sandbox. Because I'll be honest with you, the prep that Glenn and I did for today's show was catching up on real life and oh shit! All right, what are we gonna talk about today? Yada 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 and yada yada. All right, let's go. We don't have scripts. We don't. I mean, Mike and I don't do scripts. Glenn, Rach and I. We're better for you.
That's Radio Grognard in a nutshell, you know.
So, Glenn, you know what I miss? Those mead.
Now you miss. Wait a minute. I have tons of those. Go to Staples. Go to Office Depot. Let me tell you, you want some for cheap? Walmart. Go to the stationery section, the office supply section, and look for these compo books with these god-awful weird covers on it. It's like black and white. It looks like they spilled ink or whatever. But those are like 75 to 95 cents a piece, and they're grid. They're all grid. I got like a dozen of them, dozen blank ones somewhere in the garage in storage somewhere. Nice. But yeah, you can still find them, buddy. They're out there. I've converted to dot grid. Here's one I got at Walmart that is dot grid. See, it's all dots.
Okay.
Because I hooked onto bullet journaling and I sort of kind of do it, but I found out that you can draw a dungeon as easy with dots as you can. So I use those. That's my suggestion. And they're pretty cheap. I think they're like $1.50 or something like that. Anyway, I always say back to school time is the best time to get any kind of like gaming supplies, pencils, paper, and all that kind of stuff.
Good advice.
That's what I'm full. That's what I'm full of. Well, I'm full of something. Yeah, gaming bargains.
We could do an episode actually one time of how to get certain supplies as a gamer on the cheap.
This is true.
That would actually require.
This is true. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on that. Yeah, I mean, I could name a few of them right off the top. You know, I can name some off the top of my head, but so we wouldn't have to do that much prep. I mean, I'm always on the lookout for stuff like that.
Well, we'd actually have to like be able to go. Well, this wouldn't be cheap, but this is.
Still can't find.
You still can't find what?
This
when you're leaving
like
me in
$5.
No.
These $5. I buy like a pack of them of like 25. They're Bic. Get Bic. Do not get Papermate. Bic makes the best mechanical pencils. I'll keeping you in suspense. Wish I could remember what I was.
No. Well, you.
Sorry.
You had a pause. Then yeah, I don't. That's okay.
I know. I paused and then I forgot.
This pen is the same pen I carried with me when I was an active duty police officer. It's by Uzi, and it's what they call a tactical pen. It's great. It writes really well, but it has a glass breaker on the end, and it's also pretty good for pressure points. So, you know, if you didn't need to have a weapon in your hand, you had a small weapon in your hand.
True. This is my personal pen of choice. These are sold by Office Depot called Tool, T-U-L, right there. And I always get the gel pen, the micro point gel pens. And these are not cheap, nor are they expensive. There's somewhere I think I can buy 4 of them for $12. and they're really nice pens. I love them. They last long. Becky uses them. I use them. They're great stuff. What do you got?
I thought I ain't got nothing.
No, not
on my desk. I ain't got nothing else. All I have here. What gets me through the day in the warmer months when I can't have my daily tea because it's too hot?
Wait a minute.
What gets me through the day?
Hold on.
Caffeine mints gets me through the day because each one's like
Caffeine
a half
mints.
Uh-huh.
Really? Okay,
Yep.
let me show you one more thing. I found these on Amazon.
He's gonna whip it out,
And
folks.
if I I should have whipped it out years ago.
All right. I don't.
The ever popular portable game dice tray.
Oh, nice.
See these?
I had one of those. Can't find it.
I gave 2 to Gage. I take 2. Yeah, but you know what these? I got a pack of 4 of these for $12 on Amazon. And like $12 for 4 of these. And so I gave 2 to Gage. I kept 2.
Damn, dude, you got to send me a link.
Pentel. Yeah, well, sure. I'll put it in the Facebook for that. No problem.
Very cool.
Yeah, I got those. See, I'm still trying. I bought Gage some dice and these for Gage turned 18 last week, so he needs something. He got a car out of his mother. Wow.
Damn.
And he doesn't even have a license yet.
Wow.
Yeah, the Pentels are nice. The Pentels are good too. It's just Papermate is garbage. It really is. I hate Papermate pencils. Bic always has done it for me. That's all I can think of. Maybe more next show. How about that?
Yeah.
Maybe we can pick a couple of things that we can. That could be a segment right there. Cheap gaming.
Gaming.
We'll start with the.
What about cheap
gaming on the
gaming? On
yeah,
the
we can start.
But we still want your suggestions because again, it is
yes, please.
Else, it is. We might be the host. It is your show. So in the comments after the show, drop a comment. We want to hear it. Frank, we're gonna find out where Glenn gets those portable trays. I will get a link up.
It's Amazon. It's Amazon. I'll send. Can he put that on here?
Oh yeah, I'll put a link up in.
They come in 4 different colors.
I'll put up a link up in the chat or the description or both. And all right, well, that's awesome because those are good prices on those trays, folks.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's like wow.
Again, huge thank you. We surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Now the next goal is, I'm sure, 2,000, but whatever. We just want to keep on growing, reach more gamers. Of course.
No, 10,000. 10,000.
I'd be happy.
We will by the end of the decade, we will go to 10.
We will go to the moon, maybe, or 10,000 subscribers, maybe.
Alice.
Now we're not. Oh yeah, well.
Carpenter pencils. Oh wow.
To infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond. That's about where we're heading right now.
Yep.
Or to hell, I don't know.
Well, you never know. Folks, listen. We're in the midst of the world of the pandemic. Gen Con went from having a vaccine mandate to having their vaccine mandates surpassed by a local mask mandate. So I don't think they were asking for vaccines, but they were enforcing masks. And I don't listen. I know I can be a bit of a nudge, a bit of an ass at times. I actually did a little research on whatchamacallit, on Amazon, because I don't know. Do you remember there was a time when you would always see those people wearing those ball caps with the drink dispensers on top and the straw going to their mouth? Because technically, you don't have to wear a mask if you're consuming food or a drink. Well, I found on Amazon a Viking headgear like that. It's in black, but I would have it painted and look really cool. That you could then put 2 beer cans in and have the straw go to your mouth. Is it in bad taste? Possibly. Is it funny? Possibly. Is it practical?
Hilarious.
Is it practical? Probably not. But Game Hall is coming up next month. As it stands now, there is a vaccine mandate in place for the con, but no mask mandate. However, the county until the end of September has a mask mandate. We don't know about October. Hit or miss, man. Hit or miss. All I'm going to say is use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. I'm not telling you what actions you have to take. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not one of those talking heads on TV or on the YouTubes. Common sense. Talk to a medical professional.
Psycho killer. Kiss
say. And we're sober. So go screw yourself, all right? Don't be saying, "Oh, Glenn and
tense and nervous, can't relax."
Glenn and Tenkar
I am a talking head
drunk.
fan.
We're not drunk. We're just happy. We're high on life.
I already had that happen once with another podcast. Thank you very much.
There you go.
So,
folks,
anyway.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Glenn and I will be back in 2 weeks, right, Glenn? Looking at my watch. Yes. 2 weeks. That'll be, I guess, the first of the year.
Yes.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
First of the month.
Yeah, first of the month. Rach and I will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. for Gamers Health live stream. Joe the lawyer and myself next Friday. This coming Wednesday, 8 p.m. Bad Mike and myself will be hosting Jeff Jones. Jeff can tell you how much work it takes to work with Tenkar on creative projects. And I'm sure it takes a lot of fucking work to keep me riding straight. So again,
will you tell him I've still got the covers for the next 2 torchlights.
I actually got content for it. Folks, for those that have been asking, Torchlight issue 1 should be in print at least as an alpha in time for Game Hall. Glenn, we will be sending you a copy. Swords of Witcher Continual Light, I don't think will be done in time for Game Hall, but we are going to be doing a run of high-end physical copies of it, limited run, because my trip to the post office are going to have to be limited. And it's going to be my trip to the post office. And then after we have that out, Torchlight issue 2, and for those that have been asking, Pub Crawls will start coming out probably later in the fall. Those are short adventures. All right, I think we have covered pretty much everything. Guardian, yes, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, again, I'm eating the full cost of 2 days at a bed and breakfast that Rich and I had reserved, which sucks.
And a new muffler.
It comes down to it, actually. It's like I think that a Monday I'm spending the weekend cleaning out my car and then cleaning my car, and then we're gonna trade in at the end of the year anyway for 2022. But I'll see what they got left in 2021. I don't want to pay for a new muffler and then just trade the car in again. It's just wasted money. So, hey, it lasted 8 years. I've got no complaints. So, all right. On that note, I'm waving, but I should wave with this hand because if I wave my other hand, I can't hit the goodbye button.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.